Good morning, everyone. Hey, do you see your name in lights? Are you ready to go live, but you're not quite sure how to do it? And can you really get clients from doing a live show? Hi, everyone. I'm Fain Brandt, and you can see my girl, Stephanie Liu over there. And welcome to Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Fain Brandt, and the CEO of the LinkedIn Bakery. And today, like I said, I've got my I always do this backwards. My very, very special friend, Stephanie Liu. Disclosure, I am her #1 fan. I don't care what anybody else says.
I love it. It is very, very true. I mean, there are definitely people that come up to me and like, I'm your biggest fan. I was like, well, I have a leaderboard.
I'm on that leaderboard. You guys, so we are going to have a fun and informative show here. But before we get started, there are some people that need to watch this show. So hit that little share button right down there. You see it. Hit that button. Share it out with your audience, your network, so they can learn why they need to do live streaming, how to do live streaming, and how to monetize their live streaming. And of course, you guys, I'm super proud that I have built this global network, as has Stephanie. And I'd love to know where you're watching from, what city, what town, what country, and what kind of business you're in. Because one of my God-given talents is being a connector, and you just never know. I have connected people that are just watching the show with potential clients, collaborators, and partners. So it's my talent. We all have special talents.
That's right? Your superpower. Own it, girl. Own it.
I am a super connector, and I did win that award at HeraHub a couple years ago for being the connector of the year. So that's my superpower. Hey, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you just came off another live summit.
I know. And Nancy's here too. And I was like, Nancy, girl, I just saw you on the wave announcement. So it's cool. I mean, I love that. Like, I was like, you know what, girl, I already got dolled up. So let's go ahead and do this.
You're right. You're like, book those shows back to back. I hear you. Hey, and Brian just joined. Oh, he says, no, he's your #1 fan. No, Brian. And let me tell you why. Okay, you guys know that before we get into all the bite-sized tips that we're going to be serving up today, I always like to share how I know my guests. I don't just go online, see someone who looks to be popular and knowledgeable and say, hey, be on my show. Well, maybe sometimes. But Stephanie, as I said, maybe I didn't say this, I kind of stalked her before she was Stephanie Liu, Lights, Camera, Live. Before she'd blown up into this like keynote speaker, international trainer, who she is today. She was a head inside of a laptop on my laptop. And I was like, who is this woman doing these little live shows on Facebook? And how did she do that? So I actually watched her probably for 4 to 6 months. I don't know, maybe 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Your hair was short. I mean, I was
your head. Yeah. If you watch my very first videos, my hair is like up here.
Yes.
And then over the last 3 years, it started to grow. So it's kind of funny when people share screenshots. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's when I was using OBS Studio. Like I know.
Yes.
What's my hairstyle kind of goes along with the platforms that I use. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I was actually kind of stalking her online because I was like, she's interesting. She's fun. She keeps it real. And to me, that's what's important when I'm, I guess when I'm looking at people online, people that are keeping it real and not faking it. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and then what happened? Stephanie, do you want to share what happened when we met in person?
I think, what was it? I think it was Social Media Marketing World 2017. Yeah. So Social Media Marketing World 2017, I was on the USS Midway and I was just walking around. I had my Snap glasses that were on. And then all of a sudden, I hear this, oh my God, it's Stephanie Liu. And I was like, what? What just happened? And it was Fain Brandt. And she said, I watch your show. And listen, you guys, I had just started my show. And she goes, I watch your show. I was like, my show? And just the fact that someone else called it a show was like, yeah, because it wasn't like this, one-off live video. It was a show that I was producing that I was trying to get out there. She's like, I watch your show. And she even knew the name. She's like, Lights, Camera, Live. And I was like, holy crap, you really do know my show.
I was mesmerized by what you were doing, especially because OBS, that was a real technical side, right?
Mhm.
So you could put your head, well, that was, I don't know how you do it still. I mean, you put your head inside the laptop and then you were on screen and you were moving all around and your lighting was perfect. And I was like, wow, this is like a professional setup. And I just
Michaelton,
liked your style.
yeah, Michaelton's hilarious. He's just like, so Mary was a stalker,
Yep.
Honestly, it was, I think, as a live streamer that was just starting out, it was very humbling to know that people were actually watching a show that I was just still trying to figure out.
Right.
I was still trying to figure out my setup. I was still trying to get my hotkeys squared away. And to have someone come up to you and be like, I watch your show and I learned X, Y, and Z, that was the most like I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, wow, I've actually made a difference.
You
And
did.
so when someone says like, I'm your biggest fan, I'm like, no. I know who like the first
I'm the number one fan.
person. Yeah. So it's amazing.
And to this day, we still collaborate. We still hang out from time to time. And I have learned so much from you, Stephanie. Like, seriously, we're going to get into that in the show.
Yeah.
But you guys, I'm here. You get all this goodness because of this woman right here. I would not have a show if it wasn't for Stephanie Liu. And that's hands down, it would not be the show it is today. So Stephanie, before we dive into how to set up your live stream and how to monetize that and all the fun stuff we're going to talk about, why don't you give the audience, for the few that don't know you already, why don't you give the audience a little bit about your background, your agency life and where you're at now?
Of course. Absolutely. So, hey, you guys, I'm Stephanie Liu, and I am an ad agency veteran. Yes, I've spent the last decade and a half deep in the trenches of agency life. My background is actually in paid search, SEM, and social media. In fact, I work with Fortune 500 brands, even small businesses, to help them leverage social media. So brands like Nike, Sephora, Clinique. If you're in San Diego, you're Qualcomm's. A lot of different brands, and I'm able to use that same exact framework to help small businesses turn their businesses from unknown to unforgettable. Now, as Mary mentioned, I'm also known for live streaming. That was actually something that was very, very intentional, because when I left the agency world, I wanted to stand out from the sea of sameness. And the best way for you to go ahead and keep your brand top of mind and tip of tongue, well, it's live video. Because when you're confident on camera, well, hey, clients that are watching, even lurking in the background, realize that they could go ahead and be confident in their decision to hire you.
I love it. Thank you. I kind of knew your story. I feel like I could have said your intro because I know
You've heard
you.
it.
I've heard it. Like, that's what we do, people, as speakers, right? And on podcasts and live shows, we give the same intro, but it's important to be consistent. So you guys, we want to know, what are your questions? Do you have a show and you're ready to take it to the next level? Or maybe you don't have a show, but you're thinking about creating a live show and you're like, well, where do I start? What equipment do I need? Do I need a studio? What about lighting? And we're going to share some discussion that we had before we went live today, because Stephanie, right before the show, gave me more tips. You guys, I'm not lying. Like, look, can you see? I have like a little scratch pad of things I'm supposed to do, because we're always learning and growing. My show isn't perfect. I'm not perfect, you guys. And it's okay
like,
not
Mary,
to be perfect.
Whenever you and I catch up together, you're like, I have my notepad.
Yeah, totally.
So, let's talk.
I'm like, Stephanie, you want to meet for coffee? Wait, I'll bring the big notepad.
Did you bring your recorder to record everything that I'm going to say that you can transcribe into your notes?
Yeah. I know. It's always so great to hang out with you. So you guys, where should we start, Stephanie? Should we start with why everybody should have a live show?
Yeah,
with some stats.
Yeah. So one of the favorite stats that I love to share is the fact that when it comes to live video, what most marketers are tending to find is that that's where you're going to find the best engagement. And why is that? It's because platforms like Facebook and YouTube set that actually up for a higher priority. Because when you go live, that's like the one chance for viewers to go ahead and engage with you in real time. So you'll see things more as like more comments, more reactions, more people really just trying to get to know you behind the actual brand itself. In fact, one of my favorite stats that I love to share is that 82% of consumers are more interested in watching a live video versus reading a blog post. Because during that time frame, like, I'm not even going to mention how much Mary charges for her LinkedIn consulting. It's a lot. But when you have that opportunity to ask your question right then and there, and as the host, you answer it, you're now building rapport with your viewers. So that way down the line, when they're ready to make that decision, you've already nurtured that relationship. And so live video helps you stay top of mind and tip of tongue.
Increases your credibility and visibility. So we have some questions. And you guys, when you see me looking to the side, simply because I'm reading the comments and questions that we have on LinkedIn, because we have such a great audience tuning in. So we have Gary, you know Gary Ware. So he says, how do we get started if all I have is an iPhone and an idea?
Oh, I love that. If you have your iPhone and an idea, Gary, the next thing is get your power up playlist because it's about to go down. Okay. Because here's the thing. It's not about the tech, right? I feel like that's where most people freak out. It's like, oh, I need to have the lights. I need to have the camera.
I got stuck there.
Yeah. And really, it's all about knowing what you want to deliver, right? It's having the end already in mind. When you do a live video, what do you want to happen at the very end of that video? Do you want to inspire audiences? Do you want them to take action? So having your message very clear is going to help you out, because there's nothing like seeing someone hop on camera. Go ahead, baby.
Like Emma.
I know.
If you hear a little voice today, that is Stephanie's protege who's training to be the next live influencer. And her name is Emma. Say hi, Emma.
Say hi, Emma Liu. Hi. She's actually already a live streamer. She has her own like little YouTube channel playing Roblox and whatnot. Baby, go find some food.
Feed them. Put food in their mouth. But you guys, you know, before we came on, Stephanie said, you know, Emma's home today. She might come in. I'm like, that's fine. That keeps it real. You're a mom with a business. How many moms with businesses do we have watching today? Or dads with businesses? Raise your hand. You're working at home, right? Raise your hand. This happens. You know what? Just be prepared for it and roll with the punches. That's what you've taught me, Stephanie. Yeah. We're going to get back to the questions, but you know, I've had some obstacles when I was starting off, like with tech. It freaks me out. People think, oh, you're so good at it. I'm like, thank you. But it's been a couple years here in the training. But just to go with it, roll with those punches, right? When things come up, like a dog barking or a kid coming in, you kind of just roll with it. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, Mary, you know this. Today is Wednesday. And so in our house, it's whatever we want Wednesdays, because I only work 4 days a week. And when Mary was like, well, my show's on a Wednesday, I was like, only for you, Mary, because Emma knows when it's mommy-daughter day. But yeah.
I'm going to have to send cookies to Emma or something to say thank you, Emma, for letting me have your mom.
Yeah.
Vivica's on. She says, I'll follow Emma anytime. Gary says, I'm a fan of Emma, the next lead Jedi, the next Jedi. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Emma's the next Jedi. So we've got a lot of people coming on. So one of the other questions that we're going to start with the basics, how to get started, you know, with your iPhone and idea. Somebody said, do I need 4 studios? Do we need a studio or 4 studios? That's Anton, and he's in Sydney, London, New York, and San Francisco. So Anton, are you saying that you're in 4 different locations? Do you know Anton?
I think that's Anton Shook from
yes,
SEM Rush. And so he had Global Marketing Day, which is actually, that's a good point, because he did a live stream. There's a 24-hour live stream that first started in Sydney, and then it went to London, New York.
Oh, okay.
So he knows the power of live streaming, because more than 50,000 people registered for that live stream. So if you guys are interested in learning how to grow your email list, live streaming is definitely one of those ways to do it.
Anton, we need to connect on LinkedIn. I don't think that we're connected. And if we're not, we're connecting right after the show, or you can connect with me right now. So, hey, Stephanie, let's talk about, okay, we talked about how to get started. You can start with your iPhone and an idea. You taught me, though, to kind of get organized about it, like my event description. And in that event description, what are you supposed to have? Some affiliate links, how to get money.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, you can talk about whatever you want on my show. Really, it's your show today. But, you know, I'm thinking about when I first started. Yes, you know, your phone, you can use your laptop, you know, MacBooks have a great camera. Lighting is important, but more than anything, I think having earbuds, just earbuds. You don't have to have a fancy speaker, but this helps reduce any echoing and noise. and then having kind of your agenda for your show. You have to at least know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And you kind of helped lay that out, like in the event description, like that template that I use. That's yours.
Yeah. So it's called the format formula, and it's the why, what, how, and what if. So usually whenever you're running your show, it's going to be like why people should be tuning in, what they're going to learn. So 3 things that they're going to learn, and then how your show is going to go ahead and change their business. And then if they can't tune in, how they could go ahead and tune in down the line. And she needs bread.
Okay, so I think Stephanie muted herself for a moment, you guys. Let's give her just a second. Come on back. She needed
like, where's the bread? So that's the nice thing. Gary, eventually when your kid grows up, they can learn how to make their own jelly sandwiches. So she's like, where's the bread? Can I make my breakfast?
Check her out. So Gary has another question. As big time live producers, what currently keeps you up all night?
You know, I would say that even after live streaming for the last 3 years, what keeps me up is usually if I'm going to have a guest on the show. Because if you prepare, right, if you give your guest a heads up, like these are the questions that I'm going to ask you, these are the best practices, that's awesome. But let's face it, sometimes a guest will hop on like 5 minutes before the show starts. That's the thing that I'm just like, oh my God. You know, like that's not the time for the guest to show up like in that little bit of time. Like if you could give yourself at least 15 minutes, then you could go ahead and work out the kinks of, okay, let's talk about your audio, your visual, what's going on. Let's run through what the show is going to be about. Is there anything that you want me to have set up on the background? So I would say that that's probably like the one thing that still always gets me nervous, right? Like I'll message my friends. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot find my guest.
So Gary, missing guests is the number one thing.
The AWOL guest, like absent.
I have to say, because you've marketed this show with a special guest, what they're going to learn, and all of a sudden your guest is MIA. So my guest, we always, my thing is 30 minutes before. Can it be 20 minutes? Absolutely. But that 30 minutes, we catch up. How's life going? Here's how my show format goes. We check our lights. We check our mics.
Yeah.
And then I usually get free advice.
Yeah. Like even like Kendra just mentioned, she's like, or they have like really bad lighting or their internet connection is poor. They're like, oh, I'm on my mobile device. You're like, no. No.
So it helps on being prepared if you send out that list. Like I have a Google questionnaire that we send out. What are all your handles? So we can put that in, and you agree for me to repurpose this video, right? That I can use it. And do you have an offer? So I think being prepared, but yeah, staying up at night is my guest going to be on time? And are they going to not, are they going to have good lighting and microphone or earbuds? That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, because so much goes into promoting a show. And so like the 5 minutes still waiting, it's like, okay, plan B. What can I talk about?
No. So we had Yvonne join us. She said 2 of my favorites. Evie. Hi, Evie. Thanks for joining us this morning. Amanda Sparks Cook. She says she hasn't watched a live in a while, but she tuned into ours. Well, thank you.
High five to you. Boom.
Yep. High five to Amanda. High five to everyone that is out there watching. Vivica, I know, is doing her first LinkedIn live, I think later today. So we've been chatting. You're going to rock it. I can't wait to tune in and support you with yours. So you guys, iPhone or any phone, your laptop has a camera. That's one element that you need. Lighting, you can buy, if you don't have good lighting in your room, you can buy a desk lamp. That's what I started with. Yeah. Very cheap. And then, I also use the Logitech.
Brio.
The Logitech for my camera today, but you don't have to start with that. And earbuds are a necessity. And then getting prepared, right, Stephanie? Getting prepared for that show and marketing it. But I think one of the things that we want to touch on today, and again, I'm going to go back to the notes that Stephanie schooled me on, because we're all still learning. There's so many hours in the day, but what do you want your viewers to do at the end? So how do we do these live shows? We do these interviews. It increases our credibility and visibility, but we all want clients at the end of the day, right? Yeah. So what are we not doing?
What are people missing?
Yes.
Most people don't even ask. They're not even saying, hey, if you need help learning how to live stream, then contact me. Like, you have that opening. If they're already watching your show, 20 minutes into the show, you already know that they're absolutely engaged. At that moment, you've already built rapport. And so when they're feeling comfortable with, you're like, you know what? I've watched a couple of episodes. Mary knows exactly what I'm looking for in terms of upping my game on LinkedIn. And she says that she's taking on new clients. Let me go ahead and do that now. Some people just need that invitation. And I feel like most live streamers don't do that.
I
And
think that you're right. We don't ask. You said it so simply. We just have to ask, at the end of the show, during the show. So if you guys are looking for LinkedIn help, got a new course coming out. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. If you're a job seeker, I have an amazing job seeker course that's launching next week.
Oh, that's a game changer.
Yeah, because you know why I'm doing it right now is A, I can only serve so many clients, but B, it's that time of the year where everybody wants a new job, right?
Yeah.
So
it's 2020. People are looking for something new, and
yeah, it's the time of the year. So my busy time is like November, December, January, February for my career coaching business, because everybody puts on their New Year's resolution list, find a new job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the question is, Mary, are you taking on new clients?
I am. I'm taking on new clients, but I have this job seeker course, which is I'm making it so affordable because I want new people to get a new job. I want them to be happy and fulfilled and satisfied and not have the life sucked out of them every Monday.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother show. You'll be seeing a lot of that in December. But so let's get back to live streaming. So do you have, here we go, Stephanie.
What's that?
Do you have any case studies of students that you can talk about?
Well, first of all, Mary is a case study, right?
And I did not know that, you guys, coming on. I just want to interject that I said, oh, we talked about you're going to share some case studies. She's like, yeah, you. I was like, what? Me?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first met Mary, she's like, I just started with this live streaming thing. I don't know if I'm really going to stick with it. And I was like, all you really need is a format. And once you get that structure down, then all of these opportunities, all of these possibilities are going to get unlocked for you. So let's talk about Mary, because she probably won't tell you this, right? So I've been following along with Mary because she's the #1 fan. You want to know how like your fans are doing. And so she launched her first show, Bite Size Bakery, right? And then she launched a second show. And then she started multi-streaming on multiple platforms, right? One of the most successful ones, I would say, is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn Live, baby. It's where it's at.
And using the skills that she already learned on how to produce a show from live streaming with Lights, Camera, Live, she took that skill set, transferred it over to becoming a LinkedIn Live producer. So what does that mean? She is now hosting virtual summits on LinkedIn using LinkedIn Live. Now she's been able to go ahead and grow her email list and take those summits and make profit. So that, I would say, is one of the best case studies that are out there. And now you speak on stages talking about LinkedIn, and with your live video, it's helping you stay top of mind and tip of tongue. Am I right?
Yes, it is. And I do have to credit Stephanie for like, hey, you're producing these LinkedIn Live summits. You're now a LinkedIn Live producer. And I was like, oh, wait, I like the sound of that. And it is because of everything I learned on how to do my own live show that I'm just transferring that. And we're doing a few different things as we produce these LinkedIn Live summits. So it's
absolutely
awesome.
You've taken a skill set that you have perfected and crafted over the years that we've known each other, and now you're providing it as a service. So just imagine all of the CEOs, all the C-level executives that want to go ahead and build their personal brands, but don't want to deal with the tech.
Right.
Well, they just call her. In fact, people are calling her, asking her to be a LinkedIn Live producer. Girl, I need my affiliates, okay?
Oh, funny that you should mention that word.
Oh, that's right. Well, before we talk about affiliates, let me give you one more case study. So another one would be Mike Alton, who works over at Agora Pulse. He enrolled into Lights, Camera, Live, and then now he's producing, one of their shows, Social Media Live Pulse. And it's amazing in the sense that he's taken everything that he's learned. He also took like the workshop that I did at MDMC, 3-hour workshop on how to launch your show, and that's running as well.
So we have another question from Gary, and we really want to, we're here to serve you guys. So we really want to make sure that we get these questions. He said, other than asking at the end, what is something else that most live streamers aren't doing to make an impact on their show? I can think of kind of one thing, but
you take that for a second because I need to go grab Emma.
Sure. Okay, so Gary, I think that one thing that we're not doing a great job on with our live shows is repurposing them. Let me take Stephanie out there. So repurposing these live shows into bite-sized pieces with call to actions, that is something that we're just starting to do. Stephanie and I were talking about this before the show. So besides the call to action live right now in the show, it's sending that live show back out to your email list with a call to action. It's taking your live show and creating bite-sized video clips with a call to action. So there is a lot of opportunity to repurpose your live show, turn it into a blog, turn it into social media graphics, send it out to your email list, but always have that call to action. So I think that that is one place that we're not, some of us are not striving in. Yvonne said, how do you generate exposure for your lives? That's a great question, Yvonne. And I'm so glad that you asked that. So there's a bunch of different ways. So first, I always create an event on my Facebook page. Okay. Second, we do social media posts. We do, I think, 2 for each show. And we do an email blast an hour before the show goes out. But one of the best ways to promote live video shows is to actually do a live video. Say, I'm so excited. I'm going to be talking with Stephanie Liu tomorrow. We're going to talk about these 3 topics. Man, she's the bomb. You guys do not want to miss this show. So doing a 2-minute video promoting your live video is amazing. But here is the newest thing to do. And I didn't have time to do it today. Create an event on LinkedIn. Beth Granger is great at this. She does that for every one of her live shows, and I get notifications of that. So it's a new, you have to have a LinkedIn company page. So you can't do this on your personal profile. You have to do this on your company page on LinkedIn, but you can create a LinkedIn event. Or I might have that backwards. Let me bring Stephanie back. I might have had that last tip backwards because I haven't created the event. Stephanie, the question was, how do you promote live? So I went over a Facebook event, doing a quick 2-minute video that you're so excited.
Like, giving away all my secrets.
I send out we do an email an hour before, we do a couple social media posts, but the newest trend is LinkedIn events. Yes. And I didn't have time to do it. Now, is it on your personal profile or your company page?
I think I've actually done it on my personal profile.
So I think it's only personal profile because I was trying to do it yesterday and I was like, oh, I really need to master, how to set up an event because Beth Granger does it and I get notifications.
And it's a great way to get more exposure to an affluent audience, right? Yeah. Especially if you're using a platform like StreamYard where you could multi-stream on multiple platforms and start getting all of that awareness. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, definitely do your events, no matter what platform it's going to be, whether it's going to be Facebook or it's going to be LinkedIn. Because here's the thing. When you create an event and you do your why, what, how, and what if formula, you start inviting your number 1 fans, your Marys, your Bryans, your Mikes, your Kendras, right? Your Bella Vastas. Then they're going to go ahead and invite their friends too because they know that you deliver a ton of value during your show. So now you're increasing your exposure. Now, not only does that event happen after the show is done, you're going to repurpose that content because you are, and then you go back into the event and you say, hey, did you love that episode? Well, here's the blog recap with the transcript and the key takeaways. And maybe you might even have a lead magnet. The other benefit of actually having an event is this. I've had Jen Herman on the show many times to talk about Instagram. And we all know that Instagram is always changing. So what do? I had the very, very first event where I had Jen Herman. I'm like, guess what, you guys? She's coming back. Here's the next event. So now I've already segmented my audience, knowing what specific topics they're already interested in, and I'm leveraging that event. So that's something that I've been able to use over and over again. You could use that in your Facebook ads, custom audiences, people that have RSVP'd or marked themselves as interested in your event, and then just keep cycling through it.
Wow, those are great tips. And we all love Jen Herman. She is the master at
another
Instagram.
San Diego crew.
I know. We do have a great San Diego social media crew here in San Diego.
We do.
I love our crew. Wow. So lots of great insights and tips to how to get started, to how to promote, and how to captivate your audience, and your who, what, why. Wait, what was
Why,
it?
what, how, and what if, girl?
Yeah. I just know I have the formula and I just fill it
You have
in.
the cheat sheet. Yes. Yes.
I have my cheat sheet.
I gave you guys a lot of goodies in the Swipe to Script vault. So you're good.
Yes, I love that. So for Anton says, for live show, will you have registration and subsequently reminders? For LinkedIn Lives, I'm working with someone in London that I'm producing, and we do have registration and email going out. He's handling that part of it. So that's a great question. But I think, yes, you should do a registration, and it's all in your promotion. When you're putting in there, you have a link to a registration page that tells you more about what the live show is going to be all about. Stephanie, anything on that?
You know what? I'm just saying, like, Anton, you already know this. You did Global Marketing Day, right?
Anton, you tell us, how do you do it?
Yeah, I was like, Anton, you already have like a super sweet case study. In fact, like, let me shine a spotlight on
Okay.
Rush, because they did some really badass things. So it was that 24-hour live stream, and they had a landing page that listed all of the different hosts for every city that they were going to have, and then they had the guest panelists. Well, on the day of the actual live stream, at the very top, you would see the actual live stream. It was a YouTube live, and then you could actually see the comments and people were engaging. Well, because it was 24 hours of amazingness, everyone was like, where do I get the replay? And it's like, you have to register to get the replay. Otherwise, poof, gone. Right. And so that was like a scarcity tactic where they're like, if you want this, and I know you want it, then you're going to have to register. And they did that. And it was a complete game changer. After the live stream ended, people were like, oh, where's the replay? And it's like, you were supposed to register. And he still got that done. And I thought it was brilliant. It was one landing page, had the embed, register, everything that was going on. And it was simple. It was seamless. I mean, the team did a fantastic job.
Anton, we need to connect. I want to talk to you more. So Gary said, what techniques do you have for keeping chill when the unexpected arises? I text. Personally, I reach out to Stephanie. I seriously, like, it's not working. That's what I've done in the past, but what do? I take a deep breath, and I've learned to roll with the punches. It's technology. You know what? It's not going to be perfect. Internet's going to go down. Your guest is going to be late. Your light is going to go out.
No, cancel. I reject all of that.
But, you have to be prepared. Yeah. Sometimes, in the worst case, you have to cancel the show. Stephanie, let's talk about what you just went through with AJ.
Oh, with AJ. Oh, okay. So with AJ, I had this amazing show lined up to talk about LinkedIn ads, because he is a LinkedIn ads powerhouse. Mary, who is the best connector in the whole wide world, connected me to AJ. We dedicated an entire time for us to go ahead and talk about LinkedIn ads. And it was so good. But you know what happened? I hit live, and for some reason, it only broadcasted 3 seconds. And I knew something was wrong, because when I looked at the number of live viewers, it was 0. And I was like, that's not right. That's not right. For a topic like this, and for an amazing guest like AJ, that's not right. And that's when I realized the broadcast had ended. But AJ was in the middle of it. Oh, he was dropping knowledge bombs left and right. And I was like, I don't even have the heart to stop him. And I thought that maybe in the background that the live streaming platform that I was using then would still have a recording that I could at least repurpose later. Nope, that didn't happen at all. And so then I just had to be upfront with him. I was like, AJ, that was absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, the tech gods were not on my side. And I love everything that you had to deliver. And I know that my audience is gonna want to watch it. So can we do this again on Monday? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll make time for that, because he really liked the show. And he even said, like, wow, I really liked how this was set up. I like how easy it was for me to go ahead and share my screen. And we did it. And it was one of those things where tech had failed me, but because I had built rapport with my guest, I was still able to go ahead and nurture that relationship and keep the show going. So that's like the most recent thing that has happened to me before. Other things that have happened on the show, and again, I've been live streaming for the last 3 years. It's not like tech fails don't ever happen to me. The one that I remember the most that always makes me laugh is when I had Bella Vasta on the show and we were talking about Facebook groups. And in the middle of the show, I'm looking at my camera and what do I see? I see the battery bar blinking. It's red. It's flashing. Oh crap, I didn't connect my adapter. What was I going to do at that point, right? If I didn't go ahead and connect my adapter, all of a sudden that's it. My camera's off, the show dies. And so having a guest like Bella, I was like, you know what? Bella, you know what's so funny? Ha ha ha. I made it into a joke. I forgot to plug in my adapter. Well, she knew because she's a pro. She knew what I meant. She knew the meaning behind the meaning. And so I flipped the screen, kind of like how Mary has it right now, where it's just me talking on the screen. I had Bella on the screen. And then in the background, this is true story. In the background, you could hear me like crawling underneath my desk. And you could hear in the background like me shuffling, trying to like plug in the adapter. And then I come back and then I'm like, okay, we're good. And then boom, we're back on. So as far as tech fails go, I mean, you could be upfront about it. Just tell your guest, hey, something happened, or tell your audience. The main thing that you want to do, as Mary had mentioned, is try to be prepared. Because if you have a show every single time and it's just failing the entire time, then that's going to be, oh, baby, you're so sweet. Like my daughter made me a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Aw.
It was just jelly. Okay.
Yeah. Just a jelly sandwich, Mom. Get it right.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, those are definitely the fails that I've had. And I have to take a bite of this. Otherwise, she's going to
go for it. And you can show everyone how good it is.
It has hair, but that's okay.
Hey, you guys, we've all had tech fails, and we all are going to keep having them because it's technology and it's just going to happen. So how do you roll with that? You just roll with it, and you have backup plans. And I always say, being upfront with your audience, they're more forgiving than what you give them credit for. The audience understands, it's going to happen. So,
we've actually had a couple of captivators in the program where they know how to manage scenes, right? And so they'll just have like a preloaded graphic just in the background in case they ever need it that just says, the hamster's going to be fed, And so if a tech fail happens, they'll just switch to that screen that says, we'll be back momentarily.
And I'm writing that down.
Yeah. And I think most people are fine with that. I mean, you could easily create that in easel, just be like the little, the rainbow bars and like,
yeah,
momentarily.
Like the old fashioned TV when you would see that on the TV. Oh,
yeah.
Some of you don't know what that is. It's okay.
Or a video of just a hamster running on a wheel.
Oh, that would be hilarious. That's a really good tip though, is I just wrote that down. I'm going to create a graphic and have that just loaded up. So if there's a tech problem, you can put that in. Yvonne says, green room is the best time. So many laughs every time. Absolutely. Greg Horn says, love it. What does 2020 look like for the future of LinkedIn live streaming for you guys? Oh, so I'll go ahead and take this one.
Yeah, go for it.
I think that LinkedIn Live is really going to take over. We're going to see more summits. So more summit styles on LinkedIn Live, bringing in experts and speakers so that we can share our knowledge and help the masses. So I think we're going to be seeing more of these summits that are maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and speakers are coming on every 15 minutes. And then probably what you can do is you can buy that video package so you can get all of those tips. So if you are only there for a half an hour or an hour and you're not taking notes, you're trying to be in the moment, you can probably buy that webinar package for a relatively low price. I know that that's something that we're looking at doing in 2020. So I hope that answers your question, Greg. Do you have anything to add to that, Stephanie?
You totally stole my answer.
I did? That's because you taught me so well.
Yeah. I mean, I think that summits are definitely going to be a thing for LinkedIn Live. I also still stand by the fact that CMOs and CEOs are still going to want to build their brand on LinkedIn. And one of the best ways to do that is LinkedIn Live. And so if you could be a remote live producer for that type of audience, and that's going to go ahead and help you deliver a new service. I know this is something that I was telling Mary. In fact, you were telling me that people are reaching out to you and saying, hey, I want to host my own summit.
Yeah.
Can you be my consultant? And you're like, I didn't even think about that, but yes, I can.
I'm like, I'll get a proposal to you over the weekend. Yeah. Can we do a recruiting summit? And we started having this. It was over lunch yesterday, seriously, with a a colleague and a past client. I was telling her about this LinkedIn Live producing, and she's like, could I do one? I was like, yeah. She's like, awesome. How much would you charge? I have a marketing budget. It's not huge, but how much are you going to charge? And I'm like, let me get a proposal to you. I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. And we started talking about what that would look like, what kind of guests, what's the topic, how long, how would we promote that? So that's what I'm working on this weekend.
There you go. See, and it's all about taking your skills that you've already learned from live streaming, and it's a transferable skill that you can use on other platforms.
Yeah,
whether
absolutely.
you want it to be on LinkedIn or if it's something that you want to be on YouTube. When you learn how to get people buzzing about your show before you even go live, and you know the structure and you know the ins and outs and how to deal with the tech fails, you've now learned a new skill, right? I mean, she's happy. She's saying yay.
Oh, okay. Yay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing to see how you and the other captivators are leveraging the skill set that you have. And it's every year, every time I'm about to like hit the next stage, the next like 2020 conference that I'm going to be at, I just always go back to the group. I'm like, what have you accomplished this time? Like, what's your case study? So I could go ahead and shine a spotlight on you.
Well, you're a great mentor, great friend, great colleague. And you kick me in the butt when I need it. And I love that. You do it with kindness, but you're like, what are you talking about, Mary? Go do this and do that. So I just really appreciate you so much. And I appreciate you taking your time today after you just finished up another summit. So before we wrap up today's show, is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with? I'm trying to navigate our comments over here. I think that we've answered most of them, but if we haven't, Stephanie and we promise to go back into the comments and reply and respond. Right, Steph?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing that we didn't talk about was affiliates, how to monetize your live streams. Baby, say hi. She wants to say hi.
Hi, Emma.
Hi.
Is that a cookie?
It's Pinkie Pie.
Pinkie Pie is on our show today. Aren't we lucky?
I know. We'll do your own live stream later today, okay, babe?
Can I get an invitation to that live stream, please? Because I want to be her #1 fan. Take that, Gary. Take that, Brian.
Yeah. So let's talk about how to monetize your live show.
Yes.
So the first thing that we said was ask. Let people know that you are looking for new clients, that you have an intensive that's coming up, or that you're launching a course. That way people can go ahead and find out more information. The second one that has actually worked out for me is affiliates, right? So in Facebook, you could actually create a Facebook product catalog. So if you have a course, a signature program, or even just an affiliate for the StreamYard account that you're using, you could go ahead and have that become a tagged product. So that way when people share your live stream, well, it shows up at the very bottom. That's one of the reasons why I was able to go ahead and create passive income with my live stream, because people will always ask, Stephanie, what camera are you using? What lighting are you using? What's that mic? Well, I have a kit.com/HeyStephanie that lists every single one of those. So now I'm also creating passive income with my Amazon affiliate links, right? So that's another way that you could go ahead and monetize your show. I also have what's called a media kit. And the media kit says how many views I've had, the topics that I cover, my audience demographics, and how much it actually costs if you want me to go ahead and promote your product or your service on my show. So that's another way that you could go ahead and monetize it. And Mary has actually already told you how she's using live video on LinkedIn to create virtual summits. So these are all ideas for you guys to think outside of the box. It could just be, one live video that's spontaneous, but if you're strategic about it, right? Which Mary is all about being very intentional, right?
Yes, I am.
How you create your videos, then you could go ahead and make your live streaming very, very profitable.
Let's talk about being strategic, because when you said that, it popped into my mind that I have a set time and day for my show. So people know that. And I know that you kind of do that too. I mean, it fluctuates. Normally my show is the first and third Wednesdays of the month at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But today I've been switching it up and doing one maybe every other month in the morning, 9:30 today. Do you recommend that people have a set time and date for their show?
It's ideal, right? I mean, you think about all of your favorite shows, your Stranger Things. I remember back in the day when I was little, Simpsons would always come on at Sundays at 8 p.m. on Fox. I mean, I would clear out my schedule because I would
Right.
want to be in tune with that, because I'd go to school the next day and everyone was talking about it.
You don't want to be left out.
Exactly. You don't want to be left out. And so it's that creation of FOMO, in the sense that if you want to engage with me in real time, get your questions answered
Right.
in real time, then this is the time.
You
Right?
want to be on the live.
Yeah, because otherwise it's the replay, and then I'll get to your questions when I can, because I'm catering to clients.
Right. Now, I just wanted to, hear what you had to say about that. Some people were asking, like, should you have a scheduled time? I know Vivica is launching today. She's doing Launch and Learn at 12 o'clock, I believe, Vivica. You can drop that in on the comments so other people can find your show. She's doing her first LinkedIn Live today. Yes. And she works with lawyers and law firms. So she's another LinkedIn trainer, but she specializes in lawyers and law firms. So
fun.
that is a niche. I love that you've niched down, because I think niching down really does, it can really help blow up your business instead of being this, I help everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the affiliate note is hilarious, because Stephanie, before we got on the show, like I said, she was giving me notes, or I was taking notes from her suggestions. She's like, where's your StreamYard affiliate link?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where people are like, well, I can't spend X dollars a month using a live streaming platform. And it's like, Mary, people are going to ask you how you multi-streamed. And if you just created a banner at the very bottom that said, love the show, want to try creating your own show, here's my affiliate link, boom. Then it's for itself.
Right? I know. So I have my notes of things to do after this show, right? And just get paid for doing these live streams, because that's the goal, is to make, we all like to share information. We like to be helpful, right? But at the end of the day, let's not lie. It's not just about visibility and credibility. We all want to earn a little money. So why not use those affiliate links when you're live streaming? And maybe it's not the live streaming platform that your affiliate link. Maybe it's a product that you're talking about, or maybe your guest on the show has a course coming out and you're an affiliate for that course. You can, there's all kinds of ways to be an affiliate, right, Steph?
Yeah, absolutely. There's even this blog post that I have on Lights Camera Live, because I was this Sean Cannell. You guys know Sean Cannell. He is like the YouTube channel king. And he spoke at Vid Summit, I think it was last year, and he was talking about like how to make money on YouTube. And he expanded a lot about Amazon affiliates. Like even the fact that you want to have like a universal Amazon link, so that way if someone wants to purchase from France or in the UK, you still get credit for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so smart, because when I jump into my Google Analytics, people that come to my website are even outside of the US. But if they click on that Amazon link that's only for the US, I'm not getting credit for it.
That is like gold. So now I have to add that to my list. Okay. I have some work to do this weekend. So Evie, if you're watching, I know that we're doing a work party this weekend. We're getting together to brainstorm on some awesome things. I know. Oh, what? Did you? You were invited? I figured you were busy. You're like this keynote speaker, and you're on all these summits. Like, I swear, you were on my summit last week, and you were on Agora Polls, and then this morning. So I'm
Summits are popping off now, I would say, and I love it simply because of the fact it's the easiest way to grow your email list. Like one summit just ended, they're like, we had 2,000 registrants. Here's your list. And I was like, boom. Thank you.
Yeah, I love online summits, and I know that that's definitely a service that I'm adding to 2020, and just getting those booked and scheduled. But yeah, we're doing a work party this weekend, Stephanie. I'll give you the info offline.
Okay.
We're going to get together for lunch and work for like 3 hours on our business stuff. So
that's good.
Because that's what you do, guys. You can't do it by yourself. You got to partner up and collaborate with people.
Okay.
So gosh, so many tips. So,
any other questions from the crew?
Oh my gosh, I'm sure I've missed some, because we actually had a really engaged audience. Thank you guys for taking the time and tuning in, and all these great questions of how to get started. I literally, there's tons of comments here. I can't keep up with them all. I think that we got through most of the questions in the comments. I know some of my biggest takeaways is to ask right?
Yes.
You're not going to get clients. You're not going to get people to sign up for your course or buy your product if you don't ask and tell them about it during your live. And again, at the end of the live, and repurposing that live and having another call to action. That's one big takeaway. I think the next one is affiliate links.
Yeah.
Get those set up now, Mary Elizabeth. I'm saying that to myself because I'm going to go back and watch this. Get your affiliate links set up. I think that the live summits are what's going to happen in 2020, but make sure that you're doing them with registration to grow your email list.
Registration to grow your email list. Also remember to repurpose your content, right?
Yes.
Because if you're going to do, all of these summits and you have all of these guest speakers that are going to be there, well, now you can repurpose that content into like 1-minute snippets. That's going to create buzz for the next summit that you're going to do. Yeah. And in fact, I was kind of telling Mary, I was like, Mary, no, I see all these live videos and summits, but I'm waiting for a blog post. Right?
I know.
Mike Alton, by the way, has a really fantastic article that shows you how to take one live video and turn it into 26 pieces of content.
We should put that in the comments there.
We'll put that in the comments, and it's brilliant because just think about it. Like, you do one live video. This is one live video. If you were to go ahead and repurpose this into 26 pieces of content, and every week is just that one piece that goes out, wow, awesome. Do another live video. That's going to be all of your Tuesday content for the rest of the year, and then a Wednesday. And it just keeps building and building upon each other. And now your content is just everywhere. You show up on every single platform that you do that. In fact, with Agora Pulse, I just have a bulk publishing queue, and it's one specifically for Lights Camera Live, for the blog, for the interviews that I do. And it just keeps cycling through that I never have to worry about what to post on social media. It's a focus strategy.
Yeah. And it is really about being strategic. I mean, we can't get on here and do a live every day. We don't have time for that. We have clients, we have family, we have life, right? We have to work in our business as well. But taking that live video and turning it into all that different content. And that's definitely a plan. Like I said, Stephanie is, she's the one I go to for how to get my live show to the next level. And we're working on that, becoming a LinkedIn Live producer. And she told me before the show, where are your blogs? I'm like, okay, I'm working on that with my VA, and we're testing out some.
And say, well, where are your LinkedIn articles? And then she'll be like, oh yeah, that's my domain. I need to do that. Yeah, girl.
Yeah. So, but I think that repurposing your videos, everyone needs to be doing it. So Vivica, your first show today, just take it from me. From the very beginning, it's going to become a blog post and a social media image. And, there's a way to do the audio clips from it, right? I forget.
Audiograms.
Audiograms.
So I use Easel because they have some of the most amazing audiogram templates, right? Yeah. And they also have that new feature. I don't know if you saw this, Mary, but they have this feature where if you upload like a thumbnail, and then they have the background removal.
What?
So it'll just show you, like, it won't show like the rest of like my backdrop. And so now I could change the color of my background. Yeah. Oh my God.
I have to go back into Easel. I have so many programs that I have to decide what are the top 3 that I'm going to use for the video repurposing and the audiograms, all of that.
For sure. Agora Pulse, Easel, Headliner, Wave. Those are like my go-to now.
Yeah. Agora Pulse. I love Agora Pulse. The reporting that you get and just the ease of use and managing other LinkedIn profiles, like putting those in there. And then my clients can say, okay, yeah, that's great. Or let me add this. Yeah. So I love Agora Pulse for that.
Oh, for sure. Especially with like a live video like this, because you're getting comments everywhere. You're getting comments everywhere. And it's hard to go like, oh, okay, well, let me go into the Facebook group and find it where I shared there and there. You just go to Agora Pulse, and then it's this all-in-one platform. You have this inbox. You're like, okay, comment check, and like, boom, you're good to go. At least you know that your VA has responded to everyone that they should.
Yes. So I don't have my VA respond to comments. That's something I still do myself. Haven't given that up, but I'm not quite sure about that. I take that personal, like, I really like going in and like, oh, Mike, thanks so much for tuning in today.
Oh,
yeah. But one day, because I do have 99 comments in my LinkedIn profile on Agora Pulse right now that need to be addressed. So Stephanie, thank you so much. Is Emma there? Is she there?
Yeah.
Did we say goodbye to her?
Yeah, we had a package delivery. Emma Liu. Come here, bear.
we'd love to thank Emma for her time today and for the jelly sandwich that she made her mommy. So mommy wouldn't be hungry during the live streaming today.
She's like, Mommy's done 2 shows today, and I'm eating this jelly sandwich. So I should totally get Mommy a jelly sandwich, which I thought was like the cutest thing. The
That
reason
is
why you
adorable.
heard her like screaming earlier was because she couldn't twist off the top for the jam.
Uh-huh.
I was like, sorry, Mary, I gotta go open the jam.
It's all good. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. We'll talk offline. And you guys, so I do have some call to actions for you. One, if you're not a member of my private Facebook group, The LinkedIn Bakery, there's no selling going on in there. It is strictly help with LinkedIn, how to position yourself, how to be programs and apps for entrepreneurship. So join that group. It's absolutely free. We have a great founding base members in there. And next up, you guys, I have 2 courses that are coming out. I really want to promote my job seeker course right now, just because this is the time of year, you guys, when a lot of people put on their list, I want to find a new job in 2020. So even though I'm probably talking to my entrepreneurs right now, you know someone who's looking for a new job, don't you? And they're frustrated. They don't know where to start. And the Job Seeker course isn't just about LinkedIn. There's, of course, the whole components on that, but there's career exercises, video tutorials, PDFs, and there's add-ons that you can do like resume writing, and there's interview coaching, and you get live office hours with me. So it is a steal for the Black Friday price, which is coming out. And finally, if you're ready to up your game on LinkedIn and turn your LinkedIn profile into a lead magnet and referral machine, right here, this girl, I have a course for you for busy entrepreneurs, or you can do strategy session with me and we can dive deep into where you're stuck on LinkedIn and where you're positioning yourself and what keywords are missing so that you can land those speaking engagements and more clients. So that's all I got for
into that.
Okay.
Like I will tell you guys, I've actually done Mary's workshop. Like I attended it and she completely revamped my profile. And it was one of those things where it made connecting with people on LinkedIn much more easier because they liked what I had in my headline. They liked what I had in my description. And it was just kind of like the sprinkles on the cupcake. And so it was to this day. And I think that was probably like 2 years ago. This was a while back. But even now, Mary, I still get compliments on my LinkedIn profile. They're like, wow, I really like what you have in your profile. It's clear on what you do. And I was like, dang, Mary, look at that return on investment.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love your profile. It is clear. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that people make. They don't have a clear and concise profile. They try to put everything on there, or they're starting off and they have different services. And then people just get confused, you guys. They don't know what to call you for. So get clear and concise. I love whipping up new hot headlines for my clients. That's one of my favorite things to do, and sizzling summaries. So, So you can message me or email me hello@maryfainbrandt.com, or you can drop a comment below and I'll give you some more information. So Stephanie, thank you so much. And I'll see you in person.
I'll see you, doll. Saturday, right?
Saturday. Yes. Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. I have to, okay, guys. Ciao. Have a great day.